Hey there, welcome to Things Dan's Way. So today I'm next to my RV here. This is one of these 40 footers. This back room is not air conditioned well at all compared to the front. And so today what I got is a 12 volt air conditioning system that can work off the lead acid batteries, or the lithium batteries, sorry, in the trailer, and will power this guy along with solar out in the desert. And so this video is all about installing this unit and what it takes to put it in there, and ultimately how well does a system like this or a unit like this work in a bedroom of that size running only on 12 volts. So there are a lot of air conditioning systems you can find out there. Amazon's full of them. This one runs on 12 volts, which has me really curious because that means the solar I have on the roof and the lithium batteries that I have can run this thing for hours and hours and hours. So that's the key. How long can it run? How easy is the install? All those steps. Step one is to get this unit up on the roof, and I'm choosing to leave it completely in the box as arrived so we can get it up on the roof safely. So I got a couple neighbor friends gonna come over. They're gonna help me shove this thing up on the roof, and that's when we'll unbox it. So if you wanna see all that, don't go away. This is Doing Things Dan's Way. Okay, so now that we're on the roof, got some tools, got a hat because it's going to be like 95 degrees today. I'm gonna work while I have some shade. Let's open this up and take a look at what's inside. This is the curved front for going down the road this direction. It's got two separate evaporators on it and two separate fans. Looks good, it's all one piece. Let's get the rest of the way out of the box. This will be easier with two people. Here's the bezel. This is kind of an olive green color. And our power cords, I think there's 6 gauge inline fuse on this, wrapped up and covered nicely. This is the seal that needs to go on the bottom and the 2 brackets. So these will go, we'll be drilling holes in the roof, and this mounts to the inside of the trailer like this, that the bezel covers over. Okay, got a remote control and a bag of bolts. Okay, now here we can work to get this vent removed. I think I'm gonna use an angle grinder and actually cut this off so I can leave this structure in place. Because at a minimum, it's gonna be a raised element because it's the center of the roof. That will keep moisture out. I don't necessarily want to have to go tearing into all of this right now. Okay, got my grinder, eye protection, hearing protection, which you have to have. This is the AC50B. These are nice little units because you don't have to drag extension cords everywhere. You can just bring this with you. I can charge the phone, charge the cameras. It works really good. Okay, back at it. So last time I was recording, what I figured out was that the rods they gave me are not long enough to go through the thickness of my roof. So I have 5.5 inches of roof here. So I contacted ModsPioneers, and they gave me a link, an Amazon link to this rod here, which I'll put in the description below. This is obviously longer than we need, but this will get us all the way through this really thick walkable roof. So next step is to thread 4 of these in, and then basically take a piece of cardboard. I took the lid or part of the box that this came in, cut it out, and I'm basically gonna push that on there and create a template where these 4 go. I'll use that template to center it on top of here, and I'll punch the holes and then drill all the way down through that way. So that's next couple of steps. I think at this point I've only put a pinhole through the roof panel, and it's just a real thin roof material. There's no wood between these two. We're outside of the 2x4 material that's building up the thickness here. So I'm gonna go inside and drill from the inside to create a cleaner hole. The next step up here is to go ahead and clean this all off and get the seal on, which is this guy here. This has to be cut down because it's too big. I don't know why, but it's way too much material. So they sent me a picture, which I will link or put it on the screen right now. This is where the thing is supposed to end up. And then also there are these little stoppers in here. So this is going to keep this off the deck by that much. And there's going to be one of these in every one of the holes. So it keeps the foam from being completely crushed. It'll keep it like squished and watertight, but not just absolutely obliterated. Loctite polyurethane sealant roof and flashing. It's basically downhill every which direction, so this shouldn't have to do a lot. So I have the unit installed. The thread rods are going all the way through the roof. They're just barely sticking out right now. I have this up on 2x3s just to prop it up so that I can kind of work really, really close here. And I also need to fish these wires through the rafters of this walkable roof. So the goal right now is to put in this little pocket that's here. And this is going to basically look something like this. The wires will come down and go waterproof into here. And I'll drill a hole through the roof like that. We'll seal this up. And that will be the extent of the wires on the roof. And then the wires after this will be in, they're gonna go into the back and down to the access little portal that's in the very back of the trailer. Okay, so now that I've gotten this far, I am going to go down in and make sure I can pull those wires back through the original opening this way. And then I'll have to run a fish through the rafters to the back corner of the closet. I'll show you that. Once all the wires are in and through and pulled and everything, then I'll come back up here and go ahead and just seal this down, and then I can drop this in place for one last time. Okay, so at this point, those wires came out somewhere right around here. So I'm hoping to be able to just feel them. Yes. Okay, so now we got these. I need to fish them all the way to that corner of the closet, so I gotta clear out some space here, get myself over there. Okay, so what I have is I have a line attached to this piece of PEX. I'm going to try and fish this through the rafters and get it into that far corner up against the back wall of the trailer. So to dress this up, I'll get one of those little plastic channels that holds wires, and I'll just kind of run that down the wall, and that'll just kind of cover over these wires so you don't have to stare at them, and we'll dress it up later. Okay, now we've got the electrical done out there. Let's go ahead and peel so satisfying that outer layer off and turn it on. Hey, it lights up. It says 68 degrees. And also keep in mind, this is way up high because I still have those 2x3s in there. So this whole thing needs to come a lot closer flush to this. I'm just selfishly wanting to see it run now that I got the power hooked up to it. It's definitely blowing cold. That is really, really nice cold air. That feels great, actually. Okay, so now we got it actually running. I'm gonna go up top and pull those boards out, let it drop down, and then we can go ahead and get the rails put on, and then figure out how to trim out this opening to look nice. Okay, so now it's sitting down on those little bump stops that were on the gasket that's in there. And now we just have these wires. You could tighten these down before you do this, because I forgot to, apparently. Get it all in there nice and tight. Figure out where the caulk needs to go, and then get this caulk flowing again. And then I'll get a wrench and actually tighten these down tight as well. Okay, well, I'm gonna go back inside and put on those metal brackets and tighten them down against the thread rods, which will sandwich this whole thing against the roof, cut off the thread rods, and figure out how to put the trim on. That's next. Let's get down there. After I wash up. Okay, maybe a little hard to tell, but when I just finished doing it, I just masked off this insert piece here and masked off around the opening, and I basically just painted this whole inside lip black. And then I painted up some trim boards that are going to go in here and basically fill in the cracks all the way around. And then I'm going to put on the big, big plastic piece over that, and that'll just create the trim needed to kind of fill in the gaps. Trim work just needs to be finished up, and we're almost there. It's all in place. This is my little Bluetooth barbecue sensor. So the red input, channel 1, is going up to the roof, or to the cold outlet side. And this green one here is just going around, and it's this sensor here. We'll see how long it takes to cool this room off. This room is, it's 8 by 10 or so. Low as it goes is 61 degrees. And we'll put it in turbo mode and reset that probe, and we'll see how this changes. Okay, well, this thing's been running now for, this recording's been going for 51 minutes, so a little bit less than that. The room is sitting here at 61, 62 degrees. The output is at 45 degrees, so it's pushing a good 17 degree gradient from the inlet air temperature to the outlet air temperature. So that's great. If it's 85 degrees, it could be 70 degrees in here, basically. With the fan on full and it's on like the strong mode, it is no louder than the main air conditioner when it's on full fan mode. So I would say it's very equivalent to the big compressor that's on the other side. They put this in like eco mode, and that would be the opposite extreme, right? Okay, I don't know if it's gonna get quieter than this, but right now, like the compressor sound is actually a little bit probably at the same level volume-wise as the fan noise in here. And it's totally tolerable. If I was watching TV, this would not be bothersome at all. Of course, it's still blowing super cold air, just not as much of it. Well, that wraps this one up. This thing is up and running and working fine. And so not much more to say there, except it works. It seems like a decent value, perfect for 12-volt applications, especially if you're boondogging and you've got a decent amount of battery and you've even got a bunch of solar on the roof. It'll be a good setup for you. Hit me up with any questions you have down below in the comments. I'll pin the first comment and add additional detail or other thoughts that I have as we continue to use this, like I do with all my videos. So check out that first comment that I pinned. I'll have links down below in the description as well for any discount I get on this product. Hit up these other videos here for other trailer mods, like especially upgrading the power system to lithium. Be sure to subscribe, and until next time, guys, know that God loves you and you are blessed.